The shuttle descended through the violet atmosphere of Vorik Prime like a silver needle threading a bruise. Inside, James Harlow adjusted his collar for the fourth time, checked his translation tablet, and reminded himself to smile. He was humanity's first diplomatic envoy to the Galactic Conclave, a coalition of 47 species who had watched Earth with equal parts curiosity and contempt for the last 2 decades. James was 43, graying at the temples, and had spent his career defusing border conflicts in Central Asia. He liked coffee, bad jazz, and his daughter's drawings on the refrigerator. He was, by every measurable standard, an unremarkable man. The conclave had chosen this meeting to demonstrate that unremarkable humans knew their place. The grand chamber of the conclave seated 2,000 delegates. James walked down the central aisle alone, no security, per the treaty terms, aware of 800 alien eyes tracking him like a slow-moving curiosity. The Voraki host, Ambassador Srel, stood 12 feet tall and wore a bioluminescent shroud. She did not offer a greeting. "Human," Srel announced to the chamber, her translated voice carrying a deliberate edge, "you will present your species' petition for observer status. You will not speak beyond that. You will not be addressed in return. This is the custom extended to primitive client races." A ripple of low sound, amusement, perhaps, ran through the delegates. James nodded once, set his tablet on the podium, and cleared his throat. He never got to the petition. From the upper gallery, a Dracor assassin dropped, 6 limbs, ceramic blade tips, neural disruptor humming at its collar. 11 of the fastest seconds in conclave history followed. James stepped left, caught the descending arm at the wrist, twisted with a motion that came from 20 years of military judo trained into muscle memory, and dislocated the assassin's primary joint with a sound like a gunshot. The Dracor hit the marble floor. James placed one knee on its neck, took the ceramic blade without cutting himself, and looked up at the frozen chamber. 2,000 delegates had not moved. Not one. "Sorry," James said, breathing only slightly harder. "You were saying." What no one in that chamber understood, what no species outside Earth's solar system had bothered to learn, was the specific and peculiar history of the creature standing before them. Humans had not evolved from gentle grazers or peaceful nest builders. They had evolved running, chasing prey across open savanna until it collapsed from exhaustion, a predator strategy so alien to every species in the conclave that xenobiologists had filed it under mythology. They had invented agriculture, warfare, surgery, and nuclear weapons within the same 10,000 years. They had walked on their own moon and thought it wasn't enough. They had sent their young men and women to deserts, mountains, and jungles to kill and survive and come home and raise children who did the same. James Harlow had been a UN conflict negotiator for 15 years. Before that, Army Ranger. Before that, a 19-year-old from Ohio who decided he wanted to protect people and never found a reason to stop. 3 more Dracor came through the chamber's side entrances. A coordinated kill, not aimed at James, but at the conclave itself. A coup dressed as an assassination. James moved before the security systems registered the breach. He broke the first attacker's momentum with a shoulder check that sent it skidding 15 feet across polished stone. The second he redirected into the third, a single controlled shove that tangled their 6-limbed frames into one collapsing heap. He borrowed a stun baton from a stunned Voraki guard, used it twice, and stood in the center of the chamber amid 4 incapacitated Dracor, suit jacket torn at one shoulder, tie loosened exactly 1 inch. The silence was geological. Ambassador Srel descended from her platform slowly. She stopped 6 feet from James and looked at him, really looked at him, for the first time. "What are you?" she asked, very quietly. James picked up his tablet from the floor where it had fallen. He checked that the screen was uncracked. He looked back up at her and 47 species of alien delegate. "A diplomat," he said. "Can we start over?"